Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Paulio Jr., and as you can see, I have a special guest with me, my cousin Andrew. Andrew, what's going on?
How's it going, guys?
So,
Nice.
yeah, we're so not a lot of restrictions here. Um, so we are here to discuss the Joker movie, as I'm sure like 20,000 other people are as well. Of course, as soon as it came out. So Andrew and I went and saw the premiere last night, and Andrew and I had differing opinions on the movie altogether. So, and just letting everybody know, if we do, um, by accident, you know, have a couple spoilers. Just be warned ahead of time before we do get into that. So, and so, like you and I were talking about before, Andrew, I, um, it wasn't that I hated the movie. I think Joaquin Phoenix, or Joaquin, however the fuck you pronounce his name,
Joaquin.
Hakeem, is a fantastic actor. I think he did a really good job playing Joker. Uh, but for me, the storyline, I understand why they did the storyline, why they did the story that they did, to introduce such a character, and have that specific character development. But even though you didn't know exactly what was going to happen, at each turn, or there were sometimes you didn't even really know what was going on or what was real, and and what didn't exist in reality at all. Just for me, it was just an extreme. It was a slow movie for me, and I understand why they did that, but just for me, it did not. It just didn't work for me, and I know you have a different opinion, so I would definitely like to hear your side about it.
Yeah, so I think my first feeling about Joker is it's almost like a breath of fresh air, basically. Um, where all these comic book movies that have been out, including DC's, let alone Marvel, has been just like about like action packed, crazy explosions and whatnot. Um, and we haven't had really a serious, dark um, well, it's not even a superhero movie, really.
Nah, not at all.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's just a crime movie. Oh, not even, I guess. Yeah, it is partly, but um, whatever it is, it's something new and something that hasn't been put out in a while. I mean, Venom was supposed to be that way.
Mm.
It was supposed to be rated R originally, but then they changed it to PG-13, I think, at the last minute. Um, and I was actually really excited for that. But now we have Joker, and it basically exceeded all of my expectations. With Joaquin Phoenix's acting mainly, it was really like his show. He just carried the whole movie. I wouldn't even say he carried it, but it was basically all about him. Um, I was listening to someone talk about it too, and they actually made an interesting point that he couldn't recall one scene that Joaquin wasn't in, which is
Mm.
crazy. I thought of one, but it's a spoiler, so I don't know if I want to say it. But one
I mean,
scene
yeah.
I could think of.
Okay, that
That's
he
it.
was definitely wasn't. Now, as far as a scene, you're saying like at least how long? At least 30 seconds long. At least 20 seconds long.
Um.
He's
Well, the scene,
obvious. Yeah,
the
he's
scene.
obvious.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine.
It was like split into like two parts. Like they showed it for like I don't know a minute, and then
Yeah.
15 minutes later, they showed it again for like 5 seconds. Um.
Okay.
If you know what I'm talking about, it was like near the end. It was like the climax.
Okay, yeah, no, yeah, I got you.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah. I think that was the only part, even in the flashbacks, which I hope is not spoiler. He was in, so they showed him in it.
yeah.
Um,
I think that I mean, I don't think we have to worry too much about spoilers. Number one, we did give a heads up, but
yeah.
number
Okay.
two, people just are just people. I think will just uh, will look this video up just to see other people's reactions,
Hmm.
just in general.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think we're going to give too much away because regardless, if I watch this video, I would still go out and see it anyway.
Yeah.
But no, I mean you're definitely yeah, I mean you're definitely on point as far as as far as the character development. That this was not a superhero movie whatsoever, um, and it just showed you know um, again without uh, to do my best not to do spoilers, but it showed a very slow it showed this very slow progression. So you got to see step by step by step by step exactly what was going on with the Joker, how he officially became the Joker. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. There was just something about, and maybe there's just, maybe there's just something in me that is comparing him to previous Jokers, more like more specifically Heath Ledger, that has absolutely nothing to do with any of the action in the movie and so forth. It was just simply just Heath Ledger's acting that was on point. And when I when we were watching Joker, um, even just when he had his little fits of laughter and so forth. And I don't know, some of it was actually, for me personally, almost felt cringy, like watching it to a certain degree. So
Like cringy in the way that like you feel like he's overacting in a way.
yeah, it was almost like cringy in the way that he didn't know what to do. Is the best way that I could explain it. So where maybe he wasn't given, and I could be totally wrong, but it could have been perfect for them and what exactly the director wanted and what Joaquin wanted, but it just felt like there was there had to be there was definitely some improvisation going on and so forth, and um, obviously it's out of place because it's the Joker,
Mm.
but just and there was just a lot of weird things that I mean, just like any other super, and not well, whatever. Um, I mean, just like a lot of oddball
Yeah.
movies that there are going to be things out of place where just like randomly like this he's just getting the shit kicked out of him like three or four times, where it's just like it would never happen in real. It just, I mean, I know, like I obviously I
Mhm.
know it's a movie,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know, it almost felt like, yeah, maybe trying, like, I don't know, it's possible that he was trying too hard, it's possible he wasn't trying at all, and it just made it seem like he was that he was trying too hard.
Mhm.
So, but
Um, I know, like at points, like he said in an interview that he would often like feel like he wasn't doing the laugh right or something felt off, and he would like cut it.
mm,
And the director would tell him like no, you that was perfect, but like you're wrong, you know.
you're right, right.
That was actually really good, and then they would have to do it again until he felt right about it. So I wouldn't say that he wasn't trying. He definitely, I mean, like Joaquin Phoenix is like arguably, to me personally, from what I've seen lately, the best actor of the generation so far, or like the decade, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe the decade. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, it's fine.
let's see here. So in the last 10 years, yeah, I guess roughly. I mean, I guess he's more oriented towards doing, to doing like, like I want to say like quote unquote like indie style movies for the most part. Um, but just as they led us, through, step by step, and him, supposedly finding things out about, who he was and his life and so forth, and um, I don't know. It just didn't. It just did not. It didn't captivate me. It didn't keep me zoned in to the movie. Like there were certain spots, where I was excited to see what was going to happen and so forth. But that was more towards the second half.
Hmm.
For me personally, it was definitely way more towards the second half. The first half I probably could have done without for the most part.
Yeah, they it definitely like gradually um uh what is it?
A gradual build up,
Yeah,
or yeah,
yeah, it was definitely slower in the beginning and then gradually progressed. Um, but I don't know. I just I guess we just totally viewed it in two different ways because I was just glued to the screen, mostly because of his acting and
yeah,
like the music and the cinematography and everything. Like it was just all like perfect, basically, almost perfect.
yeah,
Um, I
yeah.
don't know, his laugh was just chilling, like it was cringy in a way that it was like creepy. Um, but I think honestly, I think he has the best Joker laugh. Honestly,
Really.
yeah, without a doubt, in my mind. Like,
I wish I pulled up some like the previous characters and had them up like side by side.
yeah,
Who was the who played the creepiest one. Jack Nicholson. Heath Ledger. What's his face from 30 Seconds? Jared Leto
yeah,
played
whatever.
Joker. I mean, whatever the hell that was,
Yeah, no, no one cares about that.
and yeah, and even the
Mark
even
Hamill.
well, Mark. Yeah, I mean, he does animation, but yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking
So
about laughs, then he still counts. Then
yeah, yeah, and then even the 1970s versions of Batman and Joker. So where you always had I did like the aspect of where it was showing how we talked about this, but how he was, because he's known for having tricks up his sleeves.
Mhm.
Whether it be the flower on his chest that squirts out poison.
Yeah,
He's got knives everywhere and all that kind of stuff. He's got knives in his almost basically in his boots and so forth. Um, and
right.
you see the beginning. You start to see the beginning of that. Okay, this is he's getting used to it, where he was never a normal person, but after, spoiler alert, coming off his medication, he just um turn what was the thing that he said? He's like, I realized that like my life isn't like a drama, a drama. My life is a
I
comedy or something like that.
Yeah, it
Something.
was like I always thought my life was drama, or was yeah, something like that. But now I realize it's a comedy.
Right,
Uh,
right. So
Um,
it has this kind of like, I I mean, definitely psychopathic, sociopathic.
yeah, schizophrenic stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. So,
Mhm.
but I wanted to pull up one quick thing here on just how it did. So on, and you were, yeah. So the team of Rotten Tomatoes gave it 70%, but the audience score was 92%
Yep.
on Rotten Tomatoes, and for its what you call So this is just regular, yeah, whatever, regular reviews. 9.3 on IMDb, 5 out of 5 on Empire, which I uh, never really heard about. But and then how it actually just in the first day, uh, Warner Brothers laughing all the way to the bank with
Hmm.
Joker. Um, $94 million debut, reps records for October. So Todd Phillips, I think, was the director, and
Yeah, he
yeah.
was.
So and then you have the two major, obviously, Joaquin Phoenix and Robert De Niro, obviously the main actors in it. But yeah, to hit almost $100 million on your debut is that's insane. That's beyond insane.
Yeah, and
So
I think most of the hype was because of Joaquin Phoenix. Um, that's just like brought all of it really, or like also I guess the fact of a Joker origin story. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, and like you said, that this had absolutely nothing to do with any other superhero whatsoever.
right. So he's not tied into any universe at all. This is a standalone film. If you're wondering about that,
Yeah,
um, it just no end credit scenes or anything. Just just Joker.
right.
Um, but funny enough, Todd Phillips, I'm pretty sure is the director of The Hangover, too.
Is it?
Or
That sounds
also,
familiar.
yeah,
That
and
sounds
people
right.
were like a little wary of it.
Right, right.
But I feel like he did an amazing job too. Um,
Yeah, I do.
along with
Yeah,
Joaquin.
yeah. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. That's all.
Mhm.
I don't despise it. I just don't love it. I don't know what the you know. I mean, I've even recently watched The Dark Knight, and was I mean, I'm just comparing Joker to Joker. It was just for whatever reason was just blown away by um, I know this was basically this was basically Joker's origin story, right?
Yeah,
Because so which
or it couldn't be.
has
Who knows?
right. I mean, but there hasn't in the comic books and any other previous movies, there hasn't been a lot of um, anything to do with the origin story. The biggest thing they ever did, as far cinematically wise, was um, in the Batman with Michael Keaton, and I
Batman
think
Begins. Yeah.
no, with Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Keaton.
Yeah,
Okay.
where Jack Nicholson was Joker. Like I was saying before, like all he was he was basically like in a crime syndicate, and he fell into this big vat of what was basically acid, and
Hmm.
um, he didn't really even need to put on makeup. Like the like the whatever was in that like made him look like that for the most part.
Right.
So, and that was, simply put, that was his like origin of of him becoming Joker. Like he just lost his mind from that. But
Yeah.
other than that, I've never seen an origin story with the Joker.
Well, that was the thing. Like, people were also worried about. At least I was. The whole thing with Joker is that he doesn't have an origin story. Like, I don't even think in the comics that they've confirmed it. I could be wrong. I never read DC that much, but in Dark Knight, he like retells like three different scenarios of how he got the
Um,
scars.
yeah,
Um, and it was like, okay, obviously we can't trust what he's saying. So like, how do we know his origin? Right? No one knows. He's a psychopath. That's all there is to know.
yeah,
Um, so people were worrying like would they ruin this character's his character by making an origin story? And I think they did it perfectly. Where you know it could all just be fake. It could not, you know. You
Yeah,
gotta like think about it. You know?
I like so I think the storyline itself is good. I
Mm,
think just as far I think the storyline of him becoming the Joker is really good. But just for whatever reason, putting it into the movie, putting it into a movie and going through the process of showing him being the Joker, for me personally, um, I felt like could have been better. Not saying Joaquin Phoenix is a bad actor at all,
mm,
um, but it could have whatever. It's the movie's made obviously, so but
yeah.
there's definitely more. I think that there are better that there could have been better actors to. Not saying he did a bad job, but I'm just saying I think that there could have been better actors to play that part, and that is only my opinion, and I am definitely in the minority
Yeah,
for
without a
that,
doubt. Yeah.
no question. Well, as
Yeah.
far as the internet is concerned, so
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
by the way, like I'm not even a big DC fan. Like about almost all my life basically I've like preferred Marvel over
mm,
DC. Now I could care less about superhero stuff anyways, but
right,
in
yeah.
general.
What's
But
good? I mean, what's good is good, and
yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. So
I also don't feel like people should. I'm not saying that you are, but I don't feel like people shouldn't give this a bad rating or like hate on it because it's like a superhero movie. I think that's pretty stupid. There can certainly be good superhero movies out there, especially like obviously with this one.
yeah,
Um,
this can't be looked at. It cannot be looked at as a superhero movie
yeah,
at all. Not
exactly.
whatsoever. It's
Right.
yeah. You have to look at it as its own individual film without trying to get sucked into anything Batman related or anything in the DC universe whatsoever.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah, don't go into this movie expecting like explosions or anything like that. It's
no.
very very character driven, character building movie. Um and it's very psychological too. So um
Yeah, yeah,
that's like yeah,
yeah.
it's
You just see like his. I mean, like it's kind of in both ways. Like in one way, you see like his psychological mask fall off, but then in the other way, obviously, you see the mask come on.
mhm.
But but you just see him just like slowly being torn away and starting to accept the fact of who he is. Like this is what I am, and that's it.
Right.
I'll be a psychopath. I'll be a murderer. I'll cause chaos for no reason whatsoever. I don't need any justifications for it or whatsoever, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Yeah.
So
And that's like the that's kind of like the scarily beauty of it in a way. Um that was like really cool about the movie.
yeah,
And
to
about
yeah,
just Joker and himself in general.
yeah,
Um
to
yeah.
accept,
Right.
to accept one's fate like that, to a degree where you're just like things are making sense in your head, and even though they do not make sense to other people, it's crystal clear in someone else's head. So it doesn't mean that they're right or you're right or they're wrong or you're wrong. It's just whatever works for the individual, regardless of how messed up it may seem. But
Yeah.
there, even regardless of, even though it's a movie, even though it's a comic and so forth, everything has a place for whatever reason. So,
Right.
but
One quick thing before we end it off.
mm,
I just wanted to mention that, like, um, obviously you have your own right and whatever to compare actors and performances, whatever.
yeah,
Um, but I feel personally that, like, it's hard to compare all these Jokers. Like they all just perform excellent in their own ways. Like Jack Nicholson, for me, he has the perfect smile. Like the the
Yeah.
cheeks are just like, I don't know. It's just like a great smile. Heath Ledger embodies the chaos of Joker, and that was what he did throughout the whole movie, like
Right.
on and on, right after the next, just
Right.
continuing chaos. And then Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is just the build up to that chaos, the psychological damage that is shown, and the embodiment of Joker as a
Yeah.
villain.
Yeah.
I think they all fill that individually as actors just perfectly. And obviously, I have nothing against Heath Ledger. I think he was an amazing actor. But
Yeah.
I think Joaquin was perfect too.
he Heath Ledger is not my reason whatsoever of why I of why I'm in the middle of this movie. He's
Yeah,
not he's not the reason. None of the other Jokers are the reason why. And yeah, I agree with you. Everybody has their individual parts that they excel at. So
yeah. I'm not saying that's why you gave it or like don't like it as much. I'm just like saying that for like
no.
general to like other people because I hear that like all the time, dude. And I'm like honestly kind of sick of it. Like yeah, if Joaquin Phoenix was good, but Heath Ledger will always be the best Joker. It's like can you just like I don't know, can you move on? Like
Yeah, or can you just appreciate this person's effort?
right.
This person's effort and the time that he took,
Yeah.
to make this.
It's kind of like disingenuous and obviously I don't know the two personally, but there are pictures and I think they've talked about it too that how Joaquin and Heath would hang out. So I'm guessing that they were friends, and I feel like Heath Ledger just like if he saw people like saying stuff like this, it was just like if you respect him as an actor, you should respect him as like a person, I guess, and he wouldn't appreciate that. That's just
Yeah,
how I feel. I could be totally wrong, but
yeah. I think people. I think that's just going to be that'll automatically just be brought up no matter
yeah,
what.
there's no
No matter
stopping it.
what,
Yeah,
right? Just like they'll compare. Sidebar. You'll compare Ben Affleck to Christian Bale.
yeah,
Kind of thing. So like, oh, whatever. So whatever. Ben Affleck to Christian Bale to to the fuck. It was like 4 or 5 other Batmans. There was
yeah. It's like
Val Kilmer was
yeah,
one. George Clooney was one.
hmm
Michael Keaton was the other one.
yeah,
But yeah, but going by just that the individual performance of Joker, the 2019 release of Joker, my final overall rating, everything combined, and maybe I'll be a little bit more generous, and I will actually say, for me personally, this is
Did I
tough.
change your
Me,
mind a little bit?
no, it's just I don't know if I don't want to be too tough on it, but I don't want to be too lenient on it either. So, um, okay, this is exactly what I was going to say. Instead of a 5, a 5.5.
Okay,
So that's for me.
okay,
That's just for me. That's all.
yeah.
So 5.5 out of 10 for me personally. So, and you could go
Mm.
see it and you could go, that dude's a fucking idiot. This movie's amazing. Not saying it's a terrible movie. It's definitely not. So, but
It's definitely worth your time, like anyone's time seeing it. I
yeah,
guess for me, um, I'm definitely seeing it again in theaters. So,
yeah,
um, but with every aspect of the movie, the sound, the cinema, the acting, the plot, the fact that you have to think throughout the movie and think afterwards. You don't expect what's next, what's going to happen. Taking all that into consideration, I'd probably give it a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10.
Really?
So,
Wow.
yep.
Shit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
Okay. Hey, man.
I don't know.
You
I really
like? Yeah.
appreciate those movies that just make you think about it.
Yeah.
I don't always like to go to movies and just see like mindless action
No.
and
No. No.
leave
No.
out of
No.
it.
Not at all.
Okay,
Not at
yeah,
all. That's no, and that would be, yeah. Like even for instance, the even like the Avengers movies and so forth.
hmm
Like yeah, like the CGI and all that was cool, but didn't do anything for me. It didn't. Like I would give that probably a worse rating
really,
to some degree. Like yeah, like the fighting, all the fighting was cool, and there was high level, all A+ actors in it and all that good
hmm
stuff. The story was kind of cool, but um yeah, I don't know. That's
Well, which one?
yeah.
The
Like
Leo
I
one?
yeah. So like I would give, so for instance, like I would give the movie with Robert Downey Jr. and I forget the other guy's name, but the Sherlock Holmes movies, the Sherlock Holmes movie, I'll give that a 9.5. No question.
Okay,
No question.
I haven't seen that yet.
So yeah, that's yeah,
Huh.
and that's just yeah. I don't know why. There's just certain things. I don't know. There's different strokes for different folks. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, we agree upon like Goodfellas. That's a 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's
no
something we agree
question.
upon without a doubt. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
Goodfellas. Yeah, Casino was good. Another really good one.
mhm.
Um, a lot of that was all Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
Anything that was done by Mel, a lot of stuff that was done by Mel Brooks, is all really up there as far as comedy. And then you go into anime, and then that's just a whole nother level.
yeah,
So
it's a
that's a
whole new bar.
whole nother that's a whole nother episode. So
Yeah,
or whatever you want to call it. That's a whole another review.
yeah.
So, but yeah. But yeah, so but so I guess the summary would be, don't take my word for it. I guess you could take Andy's word for it, sure. To be more inclined to go see it. So, but I would still say go see it
Yeah,
and
give it a
and
shot.
decide for yourself. That's
Yeah.
all. So, but yeah, just wanted to give our little review here, see if it gets more than 37 views. So. That's about it.
Yeah.
So, but cool, man. Well, Andrew, thank you very much for coming on. I
Yeah.
know, appreciate it, man. And yeah, we'll see something else down the line and review it.
Yeah, of course.
So, all right, brother. I will see you soon.
All right. See you later.
Later.